Hello everyone. So I'm gonna go back to how I started, kind of, and do kind of a camera out video. So I thought, while we talk, let's watch the finches. So you shouldn't be too weirded out by me sitting here staring at it with the tablet. But it is birdie nap time, so the finches are, excuse me, the parakeets are just kind of sitting there hunkered down. And Lemon, more about him in a little bit. And there's Milo on one foot. And then of course we have Mr. RC watching over everything. And the dogs are behind me somewhere. So I'm just going to sit here and we're just going to watch finches while I talk. So first thing I want to say is, well, okay, so let's do Lemon first. So I've been a little concerned about him. He's definitely been slowing down. I especially have noticed in the last, I don't know, last year, 6 months, but the last few days he's been spending a lot of time on the bottom of the cage, sleeping, and eating. There is a food dish down there, as you can see. But he does climb up to take a drink of water and eat out of this food dish, and now this is his normal spot, and he is sitting there, but he's sleeping. So he sleeps a lot. So I'm just keeping an extra eye on him. Can we help you, RC? Seriously, there is nothing going on outside. So, that I can see. Anyway. So Lemon's 23 years old, and so he's a little bit beyond average as far as life goes, or age goes. So, but of course he's, you want him to live forever, but so, but he was chewing on paper, not that, just, a few minutes ago, so he's got some spunk in him, so maybe things aren't as dire as I feel they are. Okay, so, back to finches, because that's what we're going to be doing, is watching finches, because, they don't tend to stay in one spot for any longer than a couple of minutes. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about the gambler video. I thought that went so well. Obviously some videos are better than others, in my opinion, and they don't, I can plan all I want, and a lot of times things don't go according to plan at all. Or I have to improvise as I go along, or, I plan all week about, well, this is how I'm going to do it, and then I go to do it, and for whatever reason I can't, or it doesn't work, or whatever. And so, so I had to, and actually that one, I know I told a couple of you this, but, I like to, so I upload the video on Sundays, and then I like to take Mondays off. Don't practice, don't think about it, don't plan, don't decide anything. Just take one day break from song video preparation. And then Tuesday I can start thinking about what the next song's going to be and what I need to do to prepare for it. And so Tuesday came and went, and Wednesday came and went, and Wednesday night I'm laying in bed, and I still had no idea what I was gonna do. So Thursday morning comes, still have no idea, and I'm thinking, well, I'm starting to panic, and so then I'm thinking, well, I want to do a Kenny Rogers song because I've enjoyed his music as long as I can remember, and so I started listening to some of his all-time hits, and there was a couple songs that really fit, Sweet Music Man and Goodbye, but I just didn't feel it. I want to do a little bit more than just croon to the camera, even though they were really appropriate. And I looked at Coward of the County, but that is definitely not a song that would be appropriate for my channel and these videos. So then I thought about The Gambler, and it's like, well, okay, that's one of my top favorite songs, and I mean, of all songs. And it's like, well, but you want to do poker, but that's so stereotypical, and so that would be kind of boring. And so I started thinking of other things, and then I realized they're on a train, and so then it went from there. Eventually I had to figure out how to make fake cigarettes, so I did. I don't know if you realize, but there were 3 different ones right here. So I just rolled up a piece of notebook paper, and piece of notebook paper, taped it, took another smaller strip of paper, rolled that up tightly, colored the edges with dark pink colored pencil, and stuffed it into the end, as you can see there. And then I took a drinking straw and stuffed that on this end, so that the end is up against the little strip to keep that from falling down into the shaft here. And then I taped that so to keep the straw from falling out. So I did that, and then the middle one, you can see the straw, and of course the lit end here. And then of course the little one, I did not put a straw, although maybe I could have put a little bit one right here, and then taped it onto the straw, because I needed this part to snuff it. So yeah, that was I thought of that all by myself, and I thought that was pretty good. Of course, the video you saw was about take number 6 or so. So each one I had to straighten out this little guy, and so that I could keep doing it. The whiskey was actually iced tea, and so I had to keep making, getting more for every take. So yeah, that was a fun video. It really worked out well, and I'm pretty proud of that one. So I like to watch it, and yeah. What's RC doing? Don't do it, RC. Okay. Sometimes he will grab Lemon and shove him off the perch onto the floor, but maybe because we're sitting here watching him, he's behaving himself. So, and okay, so on to the story. Well, let's see, what's he gonna do? So, before I start, I had an idea yesterday, Ideas are not always a good thing. But so my thought was that I have asked for, and I do get, and I enjoy song requests from you guys because, like I said, I can do all my favorite songs, but you may have favorite songs of yours that you may want me to do, and like the one song, the Send Me an Angel one was more or less of a test to see what I would do with it, and I passed. Yay! But because requests are harder because sometimes I've never heard of the song, so I have to learn it from scratch, or I have to come up with a concept of what I'm going to do, and so sometimes that takes longer than songs that I like. So my thought was, with these story videos, is there any kind of topic that you would like me, that if I have a story about that that you would want to hear? I have to be honest. I have a lot of stories to tell. I think are interesting, but I have so many that I've been scratching my head for the last, basically all day today and yesterday, trying to decide what story to tell you. And in fact, I'm a little late making this video just for that reason. Plus working on, I wanted to feature the Finches more, and so just coming up with this idea took a while. So if you have any kind of story, I don't know if we want to get into, kind of a truth or dare type of thing. But if you ask me a question, I will definitely consider answering it in a story. So, yeah. So, since we're sitting here watching finches, I thought I would tell you about a pair of finches that I had years ago. They were zebra finches, and I got the one. Let's see, I got the one. He was living in a very tall, round cylinder cage, and by himself. And he was living at a place that my grandma was living at the time. And they decided to, they didn't really want him there anymore for, I don't know why. And so my grandma suggested that maybe I would take him. And so I got the approval from my mom, and I brought him home. And so we hung him in the corner of the living room. I'm going to spin around here slowly. So right where that, right here, that hook right there, that's where we hung the cage, right there. Okay, spin you back around. Okay. So yeah. So I had him for, it was a while, a year or more maybe. And I was watching him, and you'd hear this repetitive sound. And I was watching him, and he had a mirror similar to similar to the one, that pink one next to Franz there. So he had a mirror like that had a bell hanging off it, like, I don't know if you can make that out. So, right right there. Oh, I can do this. There, I can do this. Oh, so that. So he had. Oh, by the way, I named the little finch Tommy. His full name was Tom Thumb. And so I named him Tommy, and so he would I would hear this repetitive sound, and I'd watch him, and he'd sit on a perch next to that mirror, and he would grab hold of the top of the bell, and he'd take off with it in his beak, and he'd try to fly towards his nest. And of course it would only go so far, and then it would jerk back out of his beak, and the mirror would slam back against the cage bars, and he'd end up in the nest with no mirror. So then he'd fly back and start over, and he would do this repeatedly over and over and over again. So I'm like, well, wonder what he's doing. And I finally realized that because I knew he sat in front of that mirror a lot. I mean, he would sit there, and he would, just do all, So I finally realized that he was sitting with his little friend in the mirror, and he was trying to get his friend to come with him, and and to the nest. And of course, I was like, oh, he's lonely. So I went to the pet store and to see what what kind of zebra finches they had, and I found another male that was like white. So he had the orange cheek patches, and he had the dark black stripes that go down from the from I think it's from the eyes down past the corners of the mouth. But his base color was white instead of the normal zebra finch color. And so they had that, and they said yep, that's a male. So I bought him, and he moved in, and I named him Timmy. Full name Tiny Tim. So I had Tiny Tim and Tom Thumb, nicknamed Timmy and Tommy. And at first for a while they got along great. They did everything together. They ate food, and they bebopped around, and they chirped and did all the little things that zebra finches do, and they slept in the nest, and everything seemed great. And then one day I noticed that, I started noticing things. I noticed that little Timmy had feathers missing on his face, and then shortly after that I started noticing that I'd uncovered at that time I was still covering up cages at night. I'd uncover his cage, and Tommy would be sleeping in the nest. Timmy would be sleeping on a perch outside of the nest. And I'm thinking, what happened here? And so I kept observing, and this was like every morning. So apparently there must have been, either there was a fight or something, and little Timmy was kicked out of the nest. So I went to the pet store, and I bought another nest, just, very much like the first one. I set it up so they were like near each other, and now they each had their own little apartment. But eventually they reconciled, and so sometimes they would sleep in one, and sometimes they'd sleep in the other, and so on. And so they were really cute little finches, and I really enjoyed having them. Their story does not end well. I had at the very top of the cage, there was a little hook on the inside, and I had a swing similar to the one that Carmel is sitting on. And they like to sit on that swing together. And so one morning I uncovered their cage, and I saw both finches laying on the ground on the floor of their cage next to each other on their backs, feet in the air. And so obviously they died at the same time. They were sitting on the swing, and they just fell off and whatever. What happened? How that happened? I have no idea. I'll never find out. I'll never find out. I was thinking, like, was there some kind of a noxious gas? But all the other birds were fine. That corner, that's near the garage, but I've had birds living in that end of the living room for years, and there was never a problem. And we don't run our cars in the garage anyway for that reason. So I never did find out what happened, and like I said, I'll never will. So yeah. So when I got these guys, the original 3, the plan was to do a mixed cage of different species, and they had zebras. And I said, well, can I get like 2 of the society finches and maybe a couple of the zebras? And the gal at the store said no, because zebras are actually little bullies, and they will bully the society finches. And society finches, they are little peacemakers. They don't fight, they don't argue, they just want everybody to get along. And so they would end up quickly being the victims, I guess. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why I ended up with 3 society finches. Plus, I just could not buy 2 and leave 1 all by itself. I couldn't do that. So now we have 5. We got the 2 original Carmel and Zorro just jumped into the nest, and then we've got the 2 older children. No, you got the one, and you've got Halo, who's the oldest child, and then you have, who's basically an adult, and then you have the 2 newer children, Marble and Zero, and I believe I'm going to peek around the corner here. Yep. Oh, sorry. Where's my finger? That's Marble. And no, wait. Sorry. That's Halo. That's Marble. And Zorro and Zero are both in the nest. And of course there's Carmel right there. And also in the nest is the little baby. And I'll see if I can get any closer here so you can see. Right there. And we have a little white and caramel colored baby. And I can't wait to see what he or she looks like. What he or she's little whole body will look like, and I'm thinking that might be soon. So yeah. So that's them. And we have Lemon, who's kind of picking through his food. And there's me. Oh, hi, Milo. You're out of your cage. You look so cute. Yes, you do. And of course, we have RC. He's been getting around. Now he's back there. And the parakeets have, they're done napping. So, there's Franz and Birdie. And Hans just kind of sits and watches them. So, anyway, so I appreciate you. Oh, how cute. So, I really appreciate you sitting here and listening to me gab and tell my stories. And I really enjoy, yeah, I really enjoy that. So I hope you enjoyed my stories, and this story in particular. And, like I said, if you have any kind of topic you want me to tell a story about or share or anything, please let me know in the comments. Or any other way you have of getting a hold of me. Email, messenger, etc. And I will definitely take everything into consideration. So I guess, oh, I suppose I should tell you, the new Yum Box has arrived today. And I took a look at what's inside, and it's a little scary. But that's, like I said in the last one. You don't get to skip things on a taste test video, because that's what the point is. So, yeah. So we'll see when Jen and I can get that done, and I'm hoping by next Wednesday, but you never know. So everybody, stay well, stay safe, and all of that. And yes, RC, we hear you. And I'm still trying to. He's got this new thing that he's been doing, and I'm trying to get that on video. I did get one video, but it's such a poor quality. I don't think I'm gonna share it. Hey, there's nothing out there. Excuse me. Hey. So, okay, I guess that means it's time to wrap up. So everybody say goodbye. Bye, everybody. Okay. See you around the different comments and everything, and I already have my song picked out for Sunday, so I will be working on that, and so I will see you here, there, and everywhere, and we'll talk later. Bye.